What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's Starship build guide, we're going to be breaking down and rebuilding this little light fighter here that I call the Phoenix. And it's a pretty simple build. It holds maximum crew, has maximum jump range, speed of 140, and the 93 mobility. But at the end of this, I will show you how to give it 100 mobility with a slight engine and part change. So I'm going to go ahead and break this down. I'll be right back to build it up for y'all. Before you start this build, make sure you grab yourself a Teo Shipbed 200 landing bay from Teo Astroneering. You could use a different bay in place of this if you wanted to and pick this up later, but I'd recommend stopping by Teo and grabbing this part first. And then also in this build, I'm going to be using a Pinch 8Z reactor, which you could get from any major star yard, also at Aquila City and in Parima. Besides that, nothing else is really special. Everything should be available at your outpost. So once you got that part, go ahead and head to your outpost. Drop down your Teo Shipbed 200 landing bay. Make sure your entryway is facing the 4. And then bring out a Teo Engineering 3x1 bottom B hab and attach that to your landing bay. Now behind that, you're going to want to bring in your reactor now because we are going to be merging all these parts together. The reactor, the shield, the fuel, and the grav drive. But you cannot duplicate your reactor. Doesn't let you. Because there's only one at your outpost. So go ahead and snap your reactor on. Make sure you have one available snap point at the top. You could grab your docker now, flip it to the bottom, and attach it to the bottom of your 3x1 in the back. And now you want to bring out a couple Deimos hole A's from your structural section and just stack them on top of each other. We're going to be using those to duplicate. And just bring a couple and set them over here. Make sure you have one available snap point at the top here. And the first thing I'm going to bring in is my grav drive. And I'm going to select the grav drive in my bottom Deimos hole and duplicate so that I get a drop down. And then I'm going to select the bottom Deimos hole and the bottom grav drive and duplicate those. Now my grav drive's in my reactor. I could delete these top 2 grav drives as well as these bottom 2 Deimos holes. And now that I have an attach point on the bottom of my grav drive, now I'm going to bring a Deimos hole A in and attach it to the bottom. And I'm going to duplicate that up. So I'm going to select a top Deimos hole and duplicate, and that'll give me an upwards duplication. That gives me somewhere to put my shield. So now I'm going to grab my shield, put that on top of the grav drive, and duplicate that down onto the Deimos hole. So select your fuel, select the bottom Deimos hole, and duplicate. Now my shield's down inside there, and we could delete these extra Deimos holes. And lastly, we'll just put in our fuel. And we'll just duplicate that down twice. There's once. Oops. Select it, duplicate down. Select the bottom Deimos hole, select the bottom fuel, duplicate down. Delete the top 2 fuel tanks, delete these, done with them. And now we could bring in a Deimos belly, flip it to the aft bearing, and attach it to the back. And that's our bottom of the build. In order to just cover my grav drive a little bit, I'm going to cover it over with a Deimos hole. So I'm going to put a Deimos hole on top, select the bottom Deimos hole, and duplicate. I'm going to select it again to get a drop down. And accept that. Delete these top 2. And delete this bottom one. So that just kind of, covers it up a little bit to give you a cleaner looking design. Next, you could bring out a Hope 6 landing gear in the 4 variant, duplicate it and flip it, and attach one to the other side. Then duplicate that, change the variant to the mid, and attach it here, and duplicate that, change the variant to an aft, and attach it there. Same on the other side, duplicate, change the variant, attach, duplicate, change the variant, attach. Next, you could bring out a Deimos control station 2x1. And you could duplicate that and attach it right in front. I'm using 2 control stations so that I could have my maximum crew. The cabin that I'm using only allows 2 crew. And so if I have one of these, I would only be able to have 6 crew. And I like to have 8 crew on all my ships so that I don't have to change crew or reassign crew when I change my ships. So again, that's up to you. You could put whatever you want right here. You don't have to put these. Okay, next you could go ahead and attach your cockpit. I'm using the Magellan 2. And then what I'm going to do is bring over a Deimos hull. Move these over here real quick. I'm going to bring a Deimos hull and just attach that on top of these halves. And then I'm going to bring out a Deimos braking engine and attach that to that. Well, actually, you can't, so duplicate that up once. Attach a Deimos hull onto the top one. And then what you could do is duplicate that and it'll drop down. And then if you select that and this bottom Deimos hull and duplicate, you get a drop down into your cockpit. Now, if you don't like anything clipping on your cockpit, you could remove that. I do it for aesthetics, but if you could just delete it and your ship will look like that, which is fine. For me, I don't care about clipping at all. So I'm going with that for looks. All right, next, you can bring in a Deimos tail A. Attach that to the back. And then bring in a Deimos spine B. I put that on your grab drives. Duplicate it and attach it next one over. And then bring out a Deimos spine C. Flip it to the aft position and put it here. And then duplicate that, flip it to the 4 position and attach it here. And then bring in a Deimos spine A4 and attach that right there. So that's our general beginning of the ship. Next, you're going to want to bring in Deimos wing E. Attach that. Deimos wing D in a port variant. Duplicate that and flip it. Or duplicate that, change the variant to the port aft and attach that back here. And then bring in a Deimos wing C in the port. Okay, each one of those duplicate and flip to the other side. Duplicate, flip, bring it over here. Duplicate, flip, bring it over here. Duplicate, flip, and bring it over here. Okay, now we're going to want to do a drop-down glitch to get a couple bracers installed. And we need these to be right here. So what we're going to do is just briefly take these parts off. And then bring in a Shroud Engine Bracer A and attach that here. Duplicate it, flip it, attach it here. Actually, you know what? I take that back. Let's do this a different way. That'll be easier for you. Go ahead and put these back if you took them off. Take these 2 parts and just move those off briefly. And then bring in some Deimos hull A's and drop them on the top. And now you can attach these, duplicate them all 4 sides like that. And then we're just going to drop down all 4 of those at one time. Select all four, your bottom Deimos hole, and duplicate down. Okay, now you can delete all this stuff on top. And now you have that. Now you can put these back. Okay, so this is gonna be like kind of a little back and forth. We're gonna attach a Nova Cowling 2L. Duplicate that, flip it, bring it to the other side. And then you're gonna attach a Nova Bumper starboard. Attach that right here, duplicate it, flip it, attach it to the other side. And now what you want to do is bring a Deimos wing, and you're going to move this off, put the wing right here, and then put this into place and flip it 2 times and cancel. Okay? So duplicate that and flip it, bring it to the other side, move this cowling off, attach this to the bumper, and then bring this back in place, flip it twice, and cancel. Okay. Next, you could bring what you could do is duplicate this and change the variant. Duplicate this, change the variant, and attach that right there. And then what you'll do is select that and flip it, and then duplicate this and attach it here. So select this, flip it, duplicate, and attach. And now you can duplicate this and flip it and attach it right there. And duplicate this and flip it and attach it right there. And now go ahead and bring out a Dun 71 engine. And you're just going to attach that on each side. And then duplicate this, change the variant twice, and then flip it to the SA. And then duplicate that, flip it, and attach it to the other side. Now you can duplicate your Deimos Wing A, attach it right here. Duplicate that, change the variant, and attach it right here. Select both of those and duplicate them. Bring them over here, select and flip, and attach. Select and flip, and attach. Now you could bring out a White Dwarf 2030 engine and attach that to your grav drive. Just flip it twice and cancel. And then duplicate that, drop it on the grid, select it, flip it, attach it here, flip it twice and cancel. And now you should be looking at that. And that's like the basic build, and now we're just dropping in a whole bunch of bumpers to cosmetically smooth this out and fill in the holes. So what we're gonna do is just do a bunch of Deimos drop downs basically. So grab a Deimos hole and set that on top of your engine and bring one over to the other side too. So we're gonna kind of do this in tandem. And then we're going to duplicate that up one, and then duplicate that, and actually we want 3. So you're going to have 3. Okay? And now bring a Deimos bumper and attach it here, and then duplicate that and change the variant to a mid and attach it here. Select those and duplicate them and bring them to the other side. Okay, attach those like that. And then next, duplicate this one. And you're going to flip it and change the variant to a starboard aft. And then you're going to attach that here. You're going to flip it twice and cancel. And now duplicate that, flip it, and now attach it here, flip it twice, and cancel. Next, you could duplicate this part, bring it over here, and accept it. And then go ahead and just duplicate that and flip it, and attach it over here. Next, bring out one more Deimos hole to both sides. And what you're going to do is duplicate both of these. Just set them off the grid real quick and then bring them on in here. Flip twice, cancel. Okay, bring this one. Flip twice, cancel. And now we're ready to drop all those down. So let's delete these Deimos holes. And let's select all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the bottom Deimos hole and duplicate down. Delete the extra Deimos hole, delete these top 5 parts. And do the same for the other side. Select the bottom Deimos hole and all 5 parts. And duplicate. And then delete the 5 parts on top. And your bottom Deimos hole. And now we want to drop in the middle. So bring a Deimos hole right here. And then duplicate it to the outside. And then duplicate it to the other outside. And then move this one over here and do the same. Duplicate them to the outside and delete your middle. So now you're looking at that. And what we want to do is put all these in there, in the middle. So we're going to need to bring one more of these out, like 4 of these over here. So we could just select these 3, duplicate them, bring them over here. And then we're gonna need one here too. So I'm gonna move these engines off real quick. And I'm gonna put one more to the back. And then for the front, we're gonna need 3. So we're looking at that. Got 3 Deimos holes here, 5 here. And now what you want to do is bring in a Deimos bumper and attach it here. And then duplicate that and change the variant to an aft and attach it here. And then duplicate that and flip it and set it off the grid real quick and then bring it on to here and flip twice, cancel. And then duplicate both of these and bring them over here. Duplicate this, flip it, and bring it over here. Now you could select, well, don't select anything. Duplicate this bumper, change the variant to a mid, and bring it down here. And then duplicate it and flip it. And set it off real quick. I'll bring this in place, flip it twice, cancel. Now select both of these, duplicate them, and bring them over here. Now select both of these, duplicate them, set them on the grid, and then move them into position here, flip twice, cancel. And then this one, move it into place, flip twice, cancel. And then now, you could go ahead and select and duplicate down. So select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts plus this bottom Deimos hole and duplicate down. And now you can delete these. And then select these 6. And your bottom Deimos hole and duplicate down. And now you can delete these ones. And now we need a connector right here. So bring in a Deimos bracer A and put that onto this middle one. It's on the upper section of this engine. Okay, duplicate that, bring it to the other side, and then select both of those in your bottom Deimos hole and duplicate down. Okay, now you can get rid of all these Deimos holes and this top bracers. And you could put your engines back into place, snap them, flip them twice, cancel. And grab this one and snap it, flip it twice, and cancel. So at this point, your ship is built and you're ready for weapons. For what I'm gonna do, like, you know, weapons are all up to you, so you could copy what I'm gonna do if you want. But I'm gonna hide all my weapons inside here. And what I'm gonna do, I would recommend, if you're gonna do this method, to save your ship at this point and go over to the red mile. That way you could easily duplicate weapons. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be using, for this particular build, PBO 300 auto alpha turrets, Obliterator 250 MEV, obliterators, and Disruptor 3340A auto alpha beams. So it's just basically like a turret build. And what I'm going to do is put a Deimos. I'm gonna bring out an equipment plate, and I'm gonna put a Deimos hole A right here, and then I'm gonna put the equipment plate on top of that and delete the Deimos hole, and then duplicate my equipment plate down. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is be doing drop downs. So for my obliterators, I could have 3 of them. So I'm gonna put one on the bottom, and I'm gonna have that one just facing the port side, and then I'm going to duplicate it up. This one I'm going to rotate to the 4, and I'm going to duplicate that down. And now I'm going to rotate one to the starboard, and I'm going to duplicate that down. And so as you can see, now I have 3 obliterators down here on the bottom. Okay, and now I'm going to do that same thing with my other weapons. And so I'm using Disruptor 3340As. So I'll just put one here facing port, duplicate down, then I'll rotate it starboard, duplicate down, and then I'll rotate it to the 4, duplicate down, and then I'll rotate it to the aft. Duplicate down. I could delete this top one. And so PBO 300s, also I could have 4 of these. So again, I'm going to have one in each direction. So there's one down, facing 4. Rotate it to the aft. Duplicate that. Rotate it port. Duplicate that. And rotate it starboard, and duplicate that. Now I can get rid of this equipment plate, and now what I need to do is duplicate the entire thing down. So I'm going to select the equipment plate, which selects all the weapons and the Deimos hole, and duplicate down. And now, if I delete this equipment plate, you'll see my weapon, all my weapon power is still full. So they're all buried down inside there. And now I can move this back into place. And so that's it. You're done. If you want to keep this at 93 mobility, you're good to go. If you want to change this to be 100 mobility, here's the fix. Bring out a, let's bring out a Shroud engine bracer or engine mount. Let me get back to level ground here. Okay, we're going to do an engine mount. And we're going to do a mid bracer. And we're going to do a Slayton Aerospace S8E5660. So what I'm going to do really quickly is paint these. And then we're going to drop them in. All right, so what you'll do is you're going to put a Deimos hole right here, and then delete the engine. So same thing here. Drop a Deimos hole A into that position, and delete the engine. And then move in your Slayton Aerospace engines, duplicate one to the other side, select both of those, and do a drop down. If they go up, that's fine, just do it again. Select that and the bottom, duplicate down. Okay, now you can delete these two. And then what we're gonna do is move this up. And delete that, and move this up, and delete that. Now bring in a engine bracer. And what I want to do is rotate this. So I got the flat side on the top, like that. Duplicate that, bring one over here. And now what I'm going to do is delete these Deimos holes. And I'm going to delete both of these Nova Cowlings that are right here. Okay? And this is where we're going to put our mid bracer. So put that like that. Now select all four of these and duplicate down. Okay, now you can delete all these Deimos holes and these top four parts. And now you should have 100 mobility and almost the same looking ship. And that's it. At this point, you can go ahead and assign your weapons. And you could give your ship a name. I called it the Phoenix, just because of the colors that I was using. Once I put these colors on, I was like, well, they remind me of the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix is a bird. Why don't we just call it the Phoenix? So that's how I came up with that name. If you want to get this same color scheme, what you want to do is select all. And then we're using our primary color is orange. Our secondary color is white. And our color number 3 is blue. And if you apply those colors, your ship will look almost like mine. The only thing you'll need to change is these engines. The engines are color 1 orange, color 2 blue, and color 3 white. And that's your Phoenix. So I hope this guide helped you out in getting this ship built. And if it did, please drop me a like. It would really help my channel out. If you'd like to help other people out with shipbuilding, please consider sharing this video out to others. That's the best way to help other people. Sharing is caring. Anyhow, if y'all have any questions or had any trouble building this ship, please leave a comment in the video and I will answer that as soon as possible. And then I will also pin that answer into a pinned comment for anybody else to quickly see. And with that being said, folks, I'm going to head on out of here. A playlist should be popping up on the screen right now with a lot of my other ship builds. And I have a whole lot more to come. So subscribe if you'd like to be notified on the future builds. We'll try to get at least 1 or 2 out every single day. And until next time, everybody, peace out.